North Wilkesboro, when a race breaks out at the fights.
3, 2, 1.
What's up, everyone? Todd Brown, That Racing Show. Thanks for dropping by for this pit stop segment. Post North Wilkesboro All-Star Race episode. And man, it seems like here lately, it's more fight reporting than it is racing reporting. But that's all the action I love right there. And I'm going to do something different in this episode here. I want to cover some of the in-depth parts of this right here. I'm just not going to show the fight, little action like that. I want to go into the things behind this. And we're going to show you a lot of different aspects of this. But yes, North Wilkesboro out there, action, following the race out there on the racetrack. And well, let's take a look at it.
Fast, and my long run was so great, so I just had to battle them off. And when there's $1 million on the line, I think all the rules go out the window of clean. So I knew that was.
So Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse, having some words, a little altercation after the race right there. But I want to take a look right now to look at what caused this to lead up to this. What was in Ricky Stenhouse that made some of this come out?
Yeah, just definitely built up frustration with, how he runs his mouth all the time, about myself. But
which driver causes the most crashes?
Which driver causes the most crashes? It's got to be Ricky Stenhouse, right?
I was like, well, back in 2018, I crashed Kyle Busch at Daytona. Obviously not on purpose, but I did, and he got out and bashed me. And then he's got a lot of followers. He wins a lot. All these people just jumped on bashing me.
So Ricky's saying, man, I've had enough. Frustration built up in him. He was tired of these little things like this. And then after what happened on the racetrack, it all just boiled over. Now let's take a look at the on-track action right here, because Ricky Stenhouse coming in there, making it 3 wide. Kyle Busch getting up into the wall. And obviously, after that, Kyle Busch was on a mission, and he wasn't going to stop until he got to the back bumper with that 47.
Stenhouse, he's not going to be happy about that. Stenhouse going for more.
Yeah, he's been 3 wide already.
Cowboy up. It's time to go. $1 million on the line. There's not a lot of time, but Kyle Busch will pay you back, and here it comes.
Oh, boy.
Sideways.
He's in the
the
wall.
fence. He's done.
So Kyle Busch succeeding in exactly what he wanted to do in that moment. And there was also some in-car camera footage here. And you could see this, that, he was dead set on parking that 47 car. And that's what makes it interesting, because following this, that's exactly what the 47 car did. He took a page from Kyle Busch's book, went down there and parked it in the number 8 pit stall, got out there and walked past the crew up onto the pit box, had some words with them. And everybody up there on that pit box let Kyle Busch know that there was probably going to be some action following the race, at least a conversation. And man, was there a conversation? And we're going to show you this from a couple different angles right here. But first, this one you can somewhat hear the conversation right here. Ricky Stenhouse saying, I never got into you. Kyle Busch saying, we all got into each other. Now we can take a look at this from a different angle, kind of get a different perspective. I like this angle because you get that view of Ricky, and you can see it build up into him till he hit that point where he said, ah, hell, let it go. Now let's get to the actual fight portion of this. As far as the fist blowing stuff, it was pretty short-lived, but it was definitely a really hard swing right here. Poor Bob Pockris getting caught up in this right here. It's not funny the way it happened, but Bob having a good time with it. Making this his profile picture now, which is going to be famous forever following this incident right here. But this is the interesting thing I want to go to right now, is if you pay attention to this right here, after the blows were swung there, you can hear Ricky Stenhouse, his immediate worry turned to his father.
We wouldn't have won the race, so we maintained it all day, and man, feels good.
So we hear Ricky's there. He's saying, you know, Dad, get my dad out of there and everything else. But meanwhile, Dad was over there having his own fun with Kyle Busch. Now, I do think that Ricky Stenhouse Sr. was probably trying to de-escalate the situation, trying to calm down Kyle Busch, but obviously blows were taken in that little bit of incident right there. And, you know, obviously all this probably could have been handled differently, but that's what makes racing great, is the unknown and the just the emotions that come out in all these things. But man, I also got to say this. What about this security guard? This guy is always right there when the fights happen and everything else. And it's just really mind-blowing, because I don't know if he's Secret Service or what it is, but maybe NASCAR needs to give him a little pay bump right there, because this dude is always on top of this situation. And this week at North Wilkesboro was no different. Now, following the incident right here, everything kind of tried to slow down a little bit. And Ricky Stenhouse telling Kyle Busch, I'm going to get you at Charlotte. I'm taking you out at Charlotte. And Kyle Busch had his own response.
Bring it. I don't give a fuck. I suck just as bad as you. Let's go.
So Kyle Busch saying, you know, look, dude, I suck just as bad as you do right now. And then giving him a thumbs up with this. So, you know, this leads me to just further my belief right now that Kyle Busch is frustrated. He wants to win. It's been too long for him since he's been in victory lane. He's getting really frustrated, and the old rowdy is coming back out. We've seen this in post-race interviews. We're seeing it on the racetrack. And I don't think that Kyle Busch wanted any fight or anything like this with this situation right here. But once it was ignited, Kyle Busch was in there with it. And, man, it's just going to be interesting to see where everything goes after this, because Ricky Stenhouse caught up with Jamie Little, and he had this to say.
We're going to go on to Charlotte. Charlotte's a really good racetrack for us. And
what about you and Kyle?
Yeah, I don't have anything else for them. I mean, if we want to do a charity match, I would do that for, you know, raise some money for, you know, maybe a NASCAR Foundation or something. That would be fun. But
so Ricky's saying, hey, man, let's take this to a match. Let's do some charity event and have a little fun with it. And, hey, man, it is Charlotte coming up this weekend, and they used to have the boxing ring there at Charlotte down the front stretch. Used to be pretty entertaining back in the day. But Kyle Busch, I think, is more on the other side of this. And this was his words when he caught up with Bob Pockris.
Did you feel like the need to retaliate against him, or was that...
Tired of getting run over by everybody. But that's what everybody does. Everybody runs over everybody to pass everybody.
So Kyle Busch saying, you know, man, I'm tired of getting run over. I'm tired of all this right here. And obviously not going to take it. And now... the interesting part this week is to find out what happens, any fines, any penalties. Obviously, I do believe Ricky Stenhouse Sr. will be suspended from the racetrack here for a week or two. And probably going to be some fines coming down on Ricky Stenhouse with this situation. I really don't see much happening to Kyle Busch, as he didn't necessarily instigate it, unless they want to do something about the intentional payback on the racetrack, or the intentional wreck, I should say, instead of payback. But something that we are going to definitely follow really closely. Now let's talk about the actual All-Star race here for a moment. For me, it really wasn't that much of an exciting race throughout the day. Following Kyle Larson with the qualifying at Indy and showing up at the racetrack, probably one of the most exciting parts of the day for me. The racetrack just seemed to be where it just was not able to pass on. Again, these cars just having so much trouble on these short tracks as far as the racing action. We saw that with Joey Logano trying to put the 23 a lap down. Bubba Wallace running them hard, and it just not happening. It seemed like it went on for 100 laps there, that he could just not get by him to lap him. But still, in the end, that 22 car finally getting his win here this year. Although not a points-paying race, but still getting in victory lane. And that Ford is really coming on strong right now. So many people being hard on Ford, saying they needed to win. And they have definitely stepped up to the plate here over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And it's going to be interesting now to see how this transfers over to Charlotte this weekend. I think they're going to be really strong there. I love the manufacturers' battle right now, because it seems so much that the Chevrolets, the Toyotas, and the Fords are all in the mix week in and week out. And obviously right now, Ford looks to be the top dog at the moment, but that could quickly change as soon as we get to Charlotte. But I also want to bring out that pit crew for Christopher Bell, winning that pit crew challenge. Got him out there to that first pit box and almost got him to the lead with that right there. So really good call by them guys in so many ways. I think they picked up 2 spots on that stop as well. Put them out there in position to try to go for the win. But all in all, just got to say, not really that exciting of a race to me. Was good to see the race in action, the grooves that were there and everything else with that. I'm just still having a hard time with this car on these short tracks. It's obvious that there needs to be some improvements. Trying different changes with the tires this past week made it a little bit exciting, but not really that exciting. Kyle Larson trying that little move at the end there to try to go over to the softer tires, and strategy worked for a little bit, but fell off. But again, not really a lot of big topics to talk about with this race, in my opinion anyway. Glad to see North Wilkesboro is going to be back for the All-Star race, but I still, man, there's something missing right now that these cars need, and I hope they're able to find it soon before so many people get complaining again about the short track package, because it's just not there right now. Maybe making strides, but it's not there. Anyways, as always, I want your input, your thoughts on everything right here. What do you think about this fight? Do you think Ricky Stenhouse earned some new fans? Do you think Kyle Busch earned new fans? Do you think Kyle was right? Ricky was right? I want your input here. What do you think about this whole situation? And how did you feel about the race? Was it an interesting race to you at all? Or just kind of a few hours to watch some racing on TV? And Kyle Larson, man, what a run there, Indy. Qualifying 5th. Looking forward to all this week and him running the double. But anyways, hope everybody out there is off to a great week. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button down there. Give the episode a like. Throw them comments down below, because that's what I love to do, is talk racing. So we're in Charlotte this week, my home. So let's talk a bunch of racing. Anyways, hope you're having a great day out there. And as always, we'll see you at the checkered flag.